the stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high,
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. We have quite a lot, I must say, lined up to talk about. We'll talk about Jordan Henderson joining Chelsea and why he's chosen Chelsea over other clubs that are interested. We'll talk about the club's plan for Mihailo Mudryk, and then we'll talk about Trevor Chalobah joining Como. We'll talk about Valentín Barco's announcement and a whole lot of other stuff. And if we exhaust the items we have lined up, we will go news hunting to see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. But that's, by the way, without wasting much of your time, follow me and let's get into it. And first of all, I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat before we get on to discussing the items we have lined up. Modmana, the first in the house, and he says, yeah. He says, hey, you, yes, you have to hit that like button, or haven't you? Please do that. If you haven't, help us garner more likes. The more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream to more people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up. And big up to you too, Tawan. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. And finally, Trevor Gunn, Benoit, Bad Boy, Bad Yeshila, and the Sassi both most likely on the verge of leaving Chelsea Football Club. But let's see what happens. And Modman is saying hello to Nemanja Fawale, aka Steve William. We need another midfielder and a crash out. I think we will sign another midfielder if we really do need one. It's up to the manager to decide. I think we have money to spend. But as we've heard, I think us making more signings will depend mainly on how many players were able to move on. Do you believe Nizar's report on what exactly? I don't know what you're referencing exactly. Nizar's report on what? Update me, bro. I want to know. And I want to know if that Nemanja Fawale, going by the name Esther William, I think you are. I've been able to figure that, but not too sure until you confirm. And my bro, Drew says, Kachila, I am happy with the Chavarría signing. Have we signed him already? No. I think, well, maybe, if anything, the last stuff I read on X about the possibility of him joining us suggests we will eventually get the deal across the line, but nothing suggests we'll sign him already. Am I mixing things up here? Let me see. Have we signed Chavarría already? Drew? Am I living under a rock? Please do let me know. I want to know, Drew. Oh, it's closed. There you go. I thought maybe I was losing my mind. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this morning. If you're in the chat, if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. All right. I thought maybe I was losing, my mind. He said our signing's done. Yes, of course. Nah. Listen, he said, I read that too, that our ability to sign more players will depend mainly on how many players we're able to move on. I don't know whether to believe him. Does he work for the club? Correct me if I'm wrong. If we really do need to make one or two more signings, I think we will. Even at that, I think, how many players have we signed now? Honestly, I'm not that concerned. But if we're able to sign one or two more that the manager wants, then I'm good. Even Pep Chavarría makes a huge difference in my opinion. But let's see what happens. We're not. If we make a wholesome, we're close to actually making a wholesome change for me, which gets me concerned. It's going to be a season of us getting to know each other and the players developing chemistry. But that's, by the way, we will start addressing the items we have lined up as soon as possible without wasting much of your time. Right, the first item here, Chelsea have finally officially announced the signing of Valentín Barco. I think for me, the delay was just down to the club waiting to see whether the manager has Valentín Barco in his plans. It will be premature to announce his arrival or his signing, and then he ends up hearing from the manager that, yeah, he's surplus to requirement, or he doesn't fit the way he likes to play. So that was just a delay, because this is, for me, a deal we got across the line months ago, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago or so, or even more. He just had to finish the season with Strasbourg and then join Chelsea. So definitely the delay was the club waiting for the manager to assess the player, not maybe a close-up, but I think maybe he knows him enough, but maybe just took his time to see if, he'd have space for him in the squad. And eventually he decided, you know what, he's going to work with him. And that's the green light for the club to announce the signing of Valentín Barco. He's a player I like a lot. I get it. A lot of Chelsea fans don't underrate him, or maybe don't value the signing because they've not been able to look beyond the player Barco was at Brighton. They've refused to accept that he's become a more mature player. He's garnered more experience. He's been more exposed to a high-level football, played week in, week out for Strasbourg. He's become, you could argue, 10 times the player he was at Brighton. And I get it. Some people are concerned because of his size, because maybe he's challenged vertically and is not the biggest player in the squad. For me, as small as he is, you cannot muscle him off the ball easily. And he has excellent passing range, excellent vision. He's that sort of player. If you make that move, he will find you with a pass. And he can be physical, puts in well-timed tackles, hardly ever mistimes his tackles. He is that good. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you why you should give him a chance. I think eventually you get to see for yourself that Valentín Barco, he's an excellent signing for us because he's that good. And more importantly, he's very, very versatile, which makes him a useful tool within the disposal of the manager. He can play left back, left wing back. He can play central midfield area on the left or on the right. From a deeper, but he can also operate as a deep line playmaker because he has that vision. And as I've said before, make that run and Barco will find you. So I'm happy we'll sign Valentín Barco. And this also report from Le Sports DNA. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It reads, Valentín Barco's transfer to Chelsea is worth approximately 35 million euros, equaling Strasbourg's biggest transfer in history. But why am I reading the transfer fee to you? Why have I read that to you? It's important because had we not signed him when we did, I think right now, given how inflated the market is, I think we'll be paying 3 times how much we paid for him when we signed him. 3 times will be 105 million euros because he's that good. And he played a lot of games. I get it, maybe not that much of exposure in at the World Cup in the United States, but at least he was part of the squad, and that's an experience that helps build his confidence and his exposure to the highest level of football, in my opinion. I am happy we signed him when we did, because once again, had we not done that, we'll be paying 3 times or at least twice as much as the amount we paid to get the deal across the line. Yeah, I've addressed that. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And if you're paying attention, your thoughts on Chelsea signing Valentín Barco. I'm happy. For me, an excellent signing for us. And that's my opinion. All right, let's see. How do I think Xabi Alonso will use him? It's difficult to say because he's actually able to operate as one of the 210s when we use 210s. If the manager is going to use 210s on the pitch, he's also capable of operating as a left back, left wing back, left center midfield. He's that good. Even as a DM, he's that good, and he's quick. So I think the manager he's taken all those factors, all those, you could say, tools of his that I've mentioned into account and decided, you know what, we can make do with him. He's going to be an excellent tool in the hands of Xabi Alonso, and more importantly, Xabi will make him a much better player. So if you are in the chat, I want to hear your opinion on what you think of Chelsea. What you make of Chelsea signing Valentín Barco. I've seen it myself on X. that a lot of Chelsea fans don't rate him. And as I've mentioned, just not able to look beyond the player he was at Brighton. He's no longer that player. He left Brighton a boy and is coming back to the Premier League a man. With regards to how he's matured in the game, or how better he's become, not necessarily that, but because he's still a kid. So Xabi Alonso did grace an interview on BBC, and they did ask him some important questions that I believe will be of great interest to Chelsea fans. And we're going to be looking, I think we've selected just 3 of them. But once we're done addressing the items we have lined up here, we'll go and take a look at a lot more of what he had to say during that particular interview. On my favorite Chelsea accounts timeline, Vince, of course, you know. Let's see what else we have here. And this is from Sean Abiona. What do you think happens to Mike Penders on Wednesday? On Wednesday? How can you elaborate that question? I'm not sure how to start addressing that, because do we have anything slated to take place on Wednesday, or is that the date he arrives? He joins them in Hong Kong? If that's the case, nothing. He'll just be part of the training, and the manager will take a closer look at him and then decide what to do with him. Oh, we got Juventus. You're saying whether he gets to play. I think maybe it depends on how soon. Is he already at the camp? Okay, I did see a picture which shows me, which reflect the fact that he's already with his teammates, wherever they are right now. I think he gets to play. Shaman Lowe, definitely, I don't think he stays. Except he only stays if we don't sign another goalkeeper. He can stay at the third choice goalkeeper. But if what's his name? If Robert Sanchez, if he's injured, even if he's fully fit, I think Pendas will get a chance to got the sticks for us, because the manager would want to see him. I think already he's seen Robertson, because he's seen Robert Sanchez during training, and he played 45 minutes for us when we played our first preseason game. So I think the manager would prioritize taking a closer look at Pendas and then compare what he sees to what he's seen when he looked at Robert Sanchez. So, but I'm not certain. We can only speculate. I don't work for the club. I haven't seen the manager's plan to say for certain that I'm sure that will be the case on Wednesday. But I think we will definitely see him. Since pictures suggest he's already in camp with his teammate. So we'll see him, and that's the reason for preseason. He gets to play. Either maybe he plays off one half and Robert Sanchez will play the other half if he's fully fit. Shaman Lowe definitely don't have a chance of becoming our number 1 goalkeeper. I'm quite sure you know that. We got Juventus on Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, he's training. Then yeah, we'd see him on that day. But I wouldn't say 90 minutes. Except it would maybe see him for 90 minutes if Robert Sanchez isn't fully fit. That's a chance also we see him off for 90 minutes. I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't work for the manager. I can only speculate. Bobby, big up to you, and thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. We'll be taking the topics one by one. Have I addressed anything that you haven't seen? Yeah, let's go back. I've seen your opinion on Valentín Barco to Chelsea. You're not excited about that particular signing, and I want to hear why that's the case for you, and maybe respond the best way I can, or maybe try to make you understand why we signed him. But go ahead, Bobby, and thank you for joining the panel, and more importantly, I do hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, Coach.
Big up to you too, Bobby.
You're going to have to let me talk without interrupting me, because I don't know how long this is going to stay connected. I'm on the road.
All right, Coach, go ahead. I can sense you're on the road. Your sound is a bit fainty.
He's not the player we need right now. He's too small in a small team, especially the midfield. The midfield gives me a lot of concern. When you look at the midfield of a team, you kind of are able to assess the strengths of the team. Right now, we have just one midfielder. That's Caicedo. Lavia is not a player. Esugo, well, he's new and young. and Enzo is neither here nor there at the moment. Now, there's a bit of a disjointed nature of that midfield. That midfield is due a bit of a shake-up. We need a physically and technically strong player in there. We need somebody that is going to be convincing. I'm worried about the midfield, and I'm actually worried about Cole Palmer. I saw the way he played against Spurs, 10 men. Yeah, we can say it's pre-season and all that, but I started to see how lightweight he is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you crystal clear, Bobby. Go ahead.
All right. I started to see him as a lightweight player, a player who really, you know, when the crunching tackles are coming in, he's not going to be able to take it. It's not his game, but we need some tough guys in midfield, and that concerns me. Jordan Henderson, I looked at him. I mean, he looks old. He actually looks old now, and I'm not convinced. Okay, people are saying he's going to come and bring mentality and all that. I'm not convinced. I'm not really happy at the moment because I don't see a strong team.
All right, Bobby, let's say, do you think we're done making signings, or do you think we'll still make some more signings? And you've heard that for the midfield area, we're still looking to sign 1 or 2 players.
It's quite clear we're not going to sign anything until we make sales.
And don't you think we'll be able to move on players? I think we have 2, 3. Chalobah gone today. Badiashile on the verge of joining Napoli, and I think Disasi could leave as soon as possible. I think we'll be able to move on players. And everything.
It all depends on
go
how
ahead,
quickly,
Bobby.
you know, how quickly you sell in order to buy. You're selling players. If you sell players on deadline day, well, that's only used to your account. That's only useful to your accounting books. You can't buy. So,
all right.
I don't know. You know, I don't. I'm still looking for that bite. You know, Welbeck kind of is a bit encouraging, but he's not a real pusher for a starting position.
All right. Here's what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
I'll say the team's weak.
All right. Here's what I'm going to say quickly. The same thing I've said to you every time we've had on occasions when we've had similar conversation. We're still not done signing players. I believe that's the case. We'll still be able to move on players and sign bring in players we want to bring in. The question is how soon. The question.
Another
I'm coming.
vertically challenged player.
The question: how soon are we going to make? Will that happen? And Bobby, I think Chavarría, I believe, is a bit taller than Cucurella, and he has that Cucurella. He applies himself, I wouldn't say in an erratic but effective manner, just like I described the way Cucurella applies himself on the pitch, but he's a very physical player. You don't need to be Andre the Giant to be physical. And something else I've said to you before, Bobby, they're all not going to be Andre the Giant. It will be a mix. And I think we've actually solved a lot of problems in terms of how you can say the lack of height in our team. Go take your time, look at the heights of all the players we've signed of late. I don't know whether you're paying attention to that, but as I've said already, I will leave your concerns to you. And I think eventually with time, I think you get to realize, yeah, we've actually done well in terms of addressing the lack of physicality and height in the squad.
I don't say this because I'm looking at height statistics and it's a height competition. No. I'm looking at the balance of the team. Midfield lacking in height. Definitely. We can't go into the season, a season that is so important for us, with this midfield. We can't. We need some physicality there.
As I've said, Bobby,
Chavarría,
Mhm.
on Chavarría and Hato, well, you can say it's a cooker. Someone like Cucurella is a very, very, very unique and rare type of player. I'm not feeling it. If Chavarría was that great, why isn't he in the Spanish national team? Why is he languishing with Rayo Vallecano?
Bobby, again, I don't have the energy to start going back and forth with you on this particular topic. I'll leave your concerns to you, and maybe eventually you get to realize we've actually solved the lack of height and physicality in the squad, in my opinion. I don't think I'll be able to convince you that they're all not going to be Andre the Giants for us to have a balanced squad. I think we've done, you can say 99 points, we actually solved the 99.9% of the lack of height and lack of physicality issues we had in the squad last season. And that's my opinion. You are entitled to see things the way you see them, and I'll have you to deal with that on your own, because once again, I don't think I'll be able to convince you otherwise. I'd let time be the one to help you understand that we're actually fine now. We're not as bad as we were last season in terms of lack of physicality and height. Pep Chavarría is a very, very physical and aggressive player, not just in a crazy way. You can say measured aggression whenever he's on the pitch. He's similar to Cucurella in that aspect. One thing, and he's actually better than Cucurella. He's better. His ball playing ability overall is way, you can say 50% better than that of Cucurella. Cucurella is just maybe more experienced, and they are not exactly, but Pep Chavarría are more equipped and more suitable to the way the manager wants to play. So I'm not concerned, and I'm not going to continue preaching to you that they're all not going to be Andre the Giant. I'll leave your concerns to you, and maybe eventually with time, you will change your stance on that aspect with regards to how balanced our squad have become. So we're not fighting here. It's a matter of your opinion differing from mine, and that's not a problem. It happens all the time. So let's see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. How many likes do we have now? We're still stuck on 18 likes. I think we should be doing a lot better than that. We got Juventus and that there. I think I've addressed that one too. Mike Penders it's got the number 13 shirt. I didn't know, but thank you for that information. I appreciate that. The next one I'm not going to read. I don't mean it. Yeah, I get it, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're entitled to your opinion, but we should be cautious with the sort of things we say. Whiting, Watton, and Gibbs, why make the England team using such analogy? Yeah, if we're seeing Pep's, you can say being at Rayo Vallecano, if we're seeing it that way, then yeah, we should maybe talk about Morgan Gibbs White that way and also Watton that way too. So it's not that simple. Once again, I respect everyone's opinion, and I have mine. We as individuals see things from the foreign lenses, and I choose to see it the way I see it. But Vic, my bro, always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. And it is still, okay, no longer morning. That's 12:15, so I was going to scream Blue Morning Show again, but it's past that time. It's 12:15 p.m. CST. And BJ, nice to see you. Thank you for joining the conversation. I wasn't able to find the comment you made on one of my posts so that we can follow each other again and plan something delicious for football fans. But always nice to see you, BJ. All right, we're going to move to the next item. Give me a second, I'll get to that. But Valentín Barco, Bobby isn't excited. Bobby doesn't like him. But for me, I love him, actually. And as I've said before, people, in Bobby's case, because he's challenged vertically, he's not the biggest of players. Bobby don't just like him. He wants a more physical, taller player. But in the case of some Chelsea fans, they just don't like him. They don't rate him. Because they found it difficult to look. They find it difficult to look beyond the player that Barco was at Brighton. They find it difficult to also accept that he's progressed. He's become more mature than he was at Brighton. He's become 10 times the player he was at Brighton. He's gotten more exposure on the highest level. And if you followed Strasbourg, you'd know how he's improved. That he actually was part of the Argentine national team squad at the World Cup. I get it, he didn't play that many minutes, but I think he did come on. He was a substitute in one of the games. But that, for me, huge. And for the fact that, yeah, we learned from the transfer guru himself in Fabrizio Romano, who said, yeah, Alonso wanted him. And that's the reason why we finally got an announcement. We signed him months ago, but didn't get an official announcement until yesterday. And that's because Alonso, he's looked at him and said, you know what? Yeah, I like him and I want to work with him. Had he said no, I think he'd be probably going back to Strasbourg or out on loan. All right. He says, why didn't you read my comment? I wouldn't read your comment where you're cursing out someone or saying something that will come across to insulting as anybody you aim the comment is aimed at. I'm not going to read that. And that's who I am. So sorry if that offends you. All right, let's see. I commented on this video. Okay, this particular one. Okay, that's more specific. Then I'll go check it out later on. So thank you. What else do we have here? Let's go to the presentation window. We've developed something which will mean we're not going to have X up there draining the system memory out and leading to the whole thing freezing every now and then. So we've solved that problem by developing something that just helps us present without issues. Mudryk is moving to Strasbourg probably. That's an assumption at the moment. We don't know, but looks like something that's going to happen. So Valentín Barco, welcome to Chelsea once again. I think I've already made a welcome post on Instagram or even a welcome video, maybe. I can't quite remember. But we've talked about him 1,000 times, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about Xabi Alonso, who graced an interview on BBC, did answer a few questions, interesting questions, that I think his responses, Chelsea fans would want to hear his responses to those questions in question. Okay, so the first one, Xabi Alonso on joining Chelsea. Not that interesting, but it does make sense. He says, reporting from the BBC, he says it has to come from the gut. He felt it was a timing. He feels the timing was good for the club and for good himself. It was a good opportunity, and he felt he had the chance to get back into the game, to start enjoying being a manager again. The decision for him, a perfect timing, and seeking the joy of being a manager. And I think he gets that at Chelsea, unlike Real Madrid, where you could argue the toxic dressing room at Madrid made life very difficult for him. But even at that, he did not fail at Madrid, irrespective of what anybody wants to say to us. So next one here, Xavi on the perceived or maybe the so-called Chelsea situation. So Xavi says the situation was not as bad as it looked at the end of last season. There's a big potential to improve, and let's see how long it takes. The latter part, I think it will always take time when you make as many changes as we've made already. But here's what I want to talk about when it comes to this. Some Chelsea fans will say, okay, if things weren't as bad as a lot as we believe it was, why are we making this many changes? Why have we signed as many players as we've signed? I think my response would be because, yeah, we're looking for players who are more suitable to the way the manager wants to play. And in all honesty, I get it. We could have been better have had we signed a CB last summer transfer window. And I still believe that had we done that, we would have finished the season better. We could have finished the season better than we did, probably in the top 4. But we mismanaged the opportunity to sign players that would have made us stronger at the time, but we didn't. But you get the gist. So Xavi, no, we're not signing that many. We haven't signed as many players as we signed already because we were very, very bad, mainly because, yeah, the manager is looking to bring in players that are suitable to the way he likes to approach the game. So, but this is very, very important because when it became clear that he will emerge our new manager, that he will become our new manager, I heard Chelsea fans saying something to the effect of, but he failed at Madrid. Especially when I said I'm 100% on the Xabi train. I and Vince and the others who wanted the club to hire him. Some will say, but he couldn't coach Madrid and all that nonsense. But let's listen to what he had to say. So Xavi on joining Chelsea, but this one, Xavi on leaving Real Madrid at the subtitle there. He says, luckily, there are not too many scars in my career. I got a scar now. It is healed, and I am determined to enjoy this step as I did when I started in Madrid. It is healed, metaphorically speaking. He's moved on from whatever happened at Madrid. But that's not for me, the most important of that particular report or quote from that interview of his on BBC. The second paragraph, which reads, for the things that didn't work out, I've been very critical of myself. And that's what intelligent people do. When you make mistakes or when some things don't work out for you the way you had planned, the most useful thing to do would be to do some self-reflection. Look back at the things you did and take stock and maybe take note of the things you believe you didn't do right. And then be prepared for when you face a similar situation in the future, you do things differently to avoid making mistakes. So he went on to say, he went on to say the last paragraph for me, the most important, the second paragraph, so to speak, for the things that didn't work, I have been very critical of myself, thinking about what I could have done better. You learn from the disappointment of things. For me, a plus for us Chelsea fans and the club. He made some mistakes at Madrid. I'm not saying he had a bad stint at Madrid. No, he still did well. He still finished, I think, with 70+ win rate, and that's not bad. He was just 3 points or 2 points behind Barcelona, who ended up winning, the club that ended up winning the La Liga that particular season. So for me, I'm just happy that he learned. He realized he did make some mistakes, was critical of himself, learned from those mistakes. So we Chelsea fans, we actually have a better manager, a better Xavi, a more experienced Xavi than the Xabi Alonso that was at Real Madrid. So that's a plus for me, and I'm happy he's become a manager. I think he will, if he in the future faces a similar situation like the one that imploded at Madrid and led to the players, to him falling out with some of the players or the players not respecting him, I think he'd handle it much better. But something else I want to say, Madrid, they have a very toxic dressing room. Players want to play where they want to play, irrespective of how the manager wants to utilize them. Players want to train how they want to train, irrespective of how the manager wants them to train. Players want a certain tactical approach, irrespective of how the manager wants them to approach the game from a tactical perspective so that they can get a result. A lot of egos are there to deal with. Again, I'm just happy he's experienced that before coming to us. So we have a better manager than Madrid had, in my opinion. So let's see what else we have here. We have Shay Wendy. Thank you for joining the conversation. My sister, my Ghanaian sister, always nice to see you. And we have 23 likes, and we're just 39 minutes into the show. So that's a good sign. So please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Big up to you too. Mabas here, what is he saying? Mabas is saying, I am happy with the signing of Jordan Henderson. He is a fantastic midfielder who adds experience to the young squad and leadership, more importantly. And as I told Bobby the other day, the English players will be the first to warm up to him. They respect him a lot. But we'll get to that in a bit. Let's try the best we can to keep the topics aligned. As much as I like to interact with you, if I keep going back and forth like that, I think we get tired by the time we get into 1 hour into the show. I see Uncle South Africa. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And I'm happy to tell you that I have Jay on the panel. I had Bobby, but because he was on the road to somewhere, probably got to his destination and had to log out. But I have Jay on the panel, so you're guaranteed to get diversified opinion. Jay, big up and thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel. How are you doing?
Yeah, big up, coach. I'm good. How about you?
I can't complain. Just my time a little bit tight these days, but hopefully my in-laws will be here soon, and I think that will change a lot for me. So I've already discussed. I'd say how many items. I think we started with the signing of Barco and how much we paid for him, and I was explaining to the listeners that we were lucky to have actually signed him when we did and paid just. Let me see that second. The subsequent report there and paid just 35 million euros for him. If we had that not been the case, that would be paying probably twice as much now, given how inflated the market is. I don't know if you want to speak about Barco. Bobby doesn't like him. He thinks he's too small, not physical. And in this case, I think his case is different from that of a lot of Chelsea fans who's finding it difficult to look beyond the Barco at Brighton and not accepting that he's gotten more exposure. He's become more experienced. He's played tons of games in Europe and in the French league, and was actually part of the Argentine national team World Cup squad. And for me, he's become much better. He has excellent vision. Excellent passing range. He can play as left back, left wing back, left center midfield. He can also operate as a deep lying playmaker. And as small as he comes across, you cannot actually muscle him off the ball easily. And he does put in he has that knack for well timed tackles and hardly ever mistimes them. I think he's an excellent addition to the squad, and he's staying, and we're keeping him because the manager likes him, even without being part of the preseason. We're hearing he's going to be part of the squad. I'd be shocked if he ends up leaving on loan, but I want to hear your opinion on the signing of Valentín Barco.
Um, about the financial side that you discussed, that we might have to pay more if the deal had not happened prior to the transfer window or prior to the season ending. Um, there is some truth to it. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing how inflated the market is. Every price, every signing is
Mm-hmm.
going almost for double its worth. And yeah, despite the negotiations between the same ownership, I mean, it's the single ownership who's dealing with it. Despite that, you have to maintain, a decorum. You cannot just uh, play with both your clubs on your own terms. Otherwise, you will attract some eyes, which will not be good due to the sporting merits that we have seen, how restricted and how strict the laws are for ownership who owns dual clubs. So yeah, I think it would have been slightly over if we had to buy him right now. So I agree with that point. Um, the general look point with Barco is I think it's a case of wait and watch. There are a lot of question marks. There are a lot of hesitations as well, and I agree with quite few of them. I myself is a big advocate of having the physicality and having the build to sustain
Mm-hmm.
your game in the Premier League, because that's how Premier League works. He is very much uh, uh,
On the small side.
I mean, he's got the energy and he's got the tenacity to put in the extra
the,
work,
the
to put in the
aggression
extra
too.
yard, and the aggression as well, to put in the tackles as well, to go the extra mile, to run around and get his ball back and do the extra work. But at the same time, you just cannot replace or eradicate the fact that he is quite small, his build is quite small, and the position that he's most likely going to play is the midfield, where it's the most congested part of the pitch. And we've got some really, really big guys in the Premier League who plays for most of the teams in that midfield area. So for him, it will be a struggle for sure, because he cannot 100% replace his physical side, his stretcher, his build. with that of his ability on the ball. That is the technical side, which he is really really good. But I think he will obviously have to deal with it, maybe adapt with it, and that tells me that it will take time. Just he will not be showing 100% abilities that he possess uh, right from the right from the go, from his first minute in the Premier League. I think it will take time for him to adapt. The good thing is, and the only factor that makes me a bit more sane about this signing is that he's not going to be a starter. He's coming as a bench player. He's going to be an option, very much rotational. So that just fills me with confidence that even these limitations are not that big of a worry, because we got some physical guys who are ahead of him, who are going to play the most minutes in the Premier League. And fighting for cup games, even Baku, I think, can do some really good performances for a starter. And maybe with a year or two, he can build up and adapt to the physicality of the Premier League. That's where I stand with it. But I cannot say that it's not an issue, because physicality in any form is going to affect your game in the Premier League, because that's the standard of the Premier League. And I think it's getting more and more physical with
How
time
big
passing
was
by.
Kante? How big was Kante? How tall was he?
I'm not really sure
I'm not
about
saying his
Kante's height,
Kante. I'm just saying how tall was Kante?
not really sure, but yeah, he was one of the shortest guy in the squad. He wasn't that tall, but then again, he did not have the height, but physically he
Kante
was
was
quite
five
strong.
six. Kante was 5'6", and Barco height. Where's his height? Barco is 6 foot.
Yeah,
No, let me see. No, that's not Barco. Let me check. Valentín Barco. Let me be sure here. Let me not mix things up. I don't think he's up to 6 foot. Go ahead, Jay. As you're talking, I'll check.
yeah, Kante was 5'6",
Mm-hmm.
5'6".
So what? 5'7". So he's a little bit taller than Kante. And what he
Yeah.
has, I'm not comparing them. They are of different profiles. They're not the same. It's more of a CM that Kante. I get you. Kante himself was an 8 also, but which was utilized mainly as a DM, given his defensive, you can say, next level sense. I'm not comparing both. The point I'm trying to make, Jay, I wanted to ask you this: wouldn't you say we have a good enough balance? And as you've explained, he's not coming to become the regular starter there. He's coming to be part of the squad. If called upon, he gets his job done. And remember, he's a very, very versatile player. He can play as left wing back, left center midfield, and actually has the deep line playmaker because he has excellent vision and passing range. I don't think signing Barco for me signing Barco for me is not an issue really. I think already we have good balance, and if we sign another midfielder and that midfielder proves to be stronger, bigger, fine by me. The reason I mentioned N'Golo Kante, he was one of our, again, when we had him, our best player any given day that I think we've had occasions where he came off the bench 15 minutes before the end of the game and he won man of the match. Even in certain games that he even not scoring or creating a chance. Barco has that sort of industry. I'm not saying he can measure Kante in terms of Kante's ability to actually aid his team defensively, even if you deploy him as number 9. But Barco depends on how you charge him to apply himself on the pitch. Defensively, he's excellent. He's not the biggest, but if you like, you can be Andre the Giant. Still, you can muscle him off the ball easily. You end up commit a foul. I'm not downplaying the importance of physicality and height, but I'm going to say the same thing I've said to Bobby. They all cannot be Andre the Giant. And I love it that you understand he's not coming in to be, you could say, the starter week in, week out. And there's still a chance he ends up leaving on loan. Why am I saying that? Because you could argue, what's his name? Xabi Alonso, definitely, I wouldn't say you could argue, have not seen him up close. Even if he's joined the camp already, I don't think He spent 3 days there. Maybe just part of the process, take a close look at him. Let's see whether you'd like him. But the fact we announced him tells me that Xavi wants to, let's just leave it at Xavi wants to take a closer look at him and consider whether to keep him or not. But I don't think, I'm not that sort of person that would just see a player because of their hat and conclude, I don't think they would do well in the Premier League. We've had players who probably he's more physical than, quicker than, more aggressive than, succeed in the Premier League for one reason or the other. You get the point I'm trying to make. And as I've told Bobby, I'll leave his concerns to him. Maybe as again, we are in August now, the transfer window closes in September, right? Again, let's wait and see what happens. We're not done signing players. We've been told we will still make a signing in the midfield area to balance things out. And the manager himself did say something to the effect of, we've done some good things, but there are areas we expect to do more to have a good balance going into the season. So why be the concern that we signed a player as good as Barco? Not of any concern to me. And I think we have better balance than we had last season. You can argue a lot more balanced squad if you're paying attention to the heights of the players we've signed. Bobby, in this case, don't like Pep Chavarría that much. He's not saying he's a bad player, but he feels like he's not physical enough, or maybe because he doesn't know him. But go ahead, Jay. I'll let you draw so we can move on to the next item.
Look, there are a few points. I'm not saying that he will never gain that physicality, but in most cases there is a certain period where adaptation needs to happen. As you mentioned, the example of Kante. Kante had a few seasons at Leicester City, and then he came to Chelsea, so he had the time for adaptation. Barco is coming from
even at Leicester, he was excellent. He didn't even need adaptation. He was that good.
I mean, he had to, reach that level with a few seasons. He was not automatically, the Kante that we saw at Chelsea. And that is why, Barco is coming from the French league directly into Premier League. So that is the difference, number one. Kante, sure, in his height, he was not the tallest, but physically, he was really, really strong, Kante. He will go into every, every tackle, every battle, and he will come out as the winner in most of them. It was one of his key ability on the ball, and that is where we have to. And that is why I said that it's a game of wait and watch with Barco. I'm not really, putting a stamp on him as a failure or he will not achieve.
No, I haven't said you did that. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the adaptation period is going to take time, and that is my personal, that's my personal liking, that I do not like signings who need more than a year or some period of time before they can adapt to the Premier League, and that is why I like players who are coming directly from the Premier League, because they eradicate this major fact that they won't require the time period. For Barco, he might adapt to it, but how and when? That is the question. Maybe he will do it after 1 or 2 seasons. Are we really ready and prepared to wait for that? There are a few players that are leaving the club just after 1 or 2 seasons. So is he going to get that time of adaptation here? These are the questions that will roam around.
Do you believe my opinion that that's a chance he still goes out on loan? The fact that we've announced him, it doesn't guarantee that he stays with the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a big chance for it. We are seeing links of Omega and other players who, will just arrive and go on loan. So it can happen with Barco as well, and that would be the right decision if they are going to make, that decision with Alonso, because obviously he's going to, see him in the training, and he will analyze that whether he's prepared to help him in this season or whether he needs a loan in the Premier League, which, again, as I mentioned, will give him the period of adaptation somewhere else, and then he can maybe join Chelsea and do. Are you
saying you sound as if you're saying for Sutton, given the lack of perceived, you could say the fact that he's challenged vertically. Let's just stick with that. That he's not going to do well at Chelsea because he doesn't have that Premier League experience.
I mean, as I said, that in most cases you require a time of adaptation, especially when you're coming from a different league. This is there is not absolute truth in it, obviously, but when a thing is going to be true for 90% of the time, then I will use that as a, you know, as an absolute truth. Just because, yeah,
Here's,
obviously
here's, some, yeah. Here's something I want to
obviously
say
some,
quickly.
yeah,
Do
go.
you know Estevao is a much better player? They're not the same. No need comparing their profile. Do you know Barco can actually is capable of dealing with the physicality of the Premier League than Estevao? I'm not saying Estevao, I'd say the much better
Nah,
player, but they're not
different
the same
positions,
profile. No
coach.
need comparing them, but I'm just saying. So I think we should be open to giving them a chance. More importantly, I'm just going to go with, I get it. Bobby will still remind me that managers are not perfect, that they do make mistakes, which I agree, which was why I said, listen, we hired him as a manager. If he ends up keeping Barco and it backfires, or maybe if we sign all these players, they end up not doing well on him. That's why he's the manager. More importantly, I'm just going to leave it at, if the manager wants Barco to stay, he's going to stay. And I guarantee that he does well. He will surprise a lot of people, and that's my opinion. You're entitled to yours. I respect that. Bobby, it looks like you have a poor connection where you are. You're coming back in, but Jay, I'll let you drop, bro.
Um, with Estevao's case, he plays on the wings, right? So that is a very isolated place. In midfield, you are going to get congested. There is a lot of activity happening. You are not going to get that time. So that example really does not validate the argument, because two very different positions. Estevao can afford that thing. Barco maybe cannot, because he's playing in a very serious position where you need to be attentive almost all the time. And a big part of playing in midfield in the Premier League is winning, aerial duels and ground duels as well, which will require some sort of physicality to it. Again, but I would agree on the last point that you said. If the manager wants him, that means he is seeing something that we are not seeing in the training, right? So that is
And
a
we
big
don't even know
factor. And
how
if
he
he,
plans to use him.
yeah, fair point. Maybe, as I mentioned, maybe he's not really going to play in the Premier League. Maybe he's there to play the cup games, and then maybe he will try him more in the Premier League next season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with it, because I know that we got certain midfielders ahead of him, so there won't be a big risk of going into the season thinking that, oh, Barco has to play 30 games and our season depends on that fact. It's not that case, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with it. Just can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, it looks like you had me scream at my boy.
No, I think you are muted, so that's why. But yeah, some people are mentioning the example of Enzo. Well, Enzo, the biggest limitation with Enzo is that he is not that good defensively, and a lot of managers actually changed his position. He was struggling in a pivot. As a lone six as well, he was struggling in the Premier League, and that is why we see that Maresca put him quite ahead on the pitch, and that is where he actually thrived with his goals and assists. So, not the same case, and the point still stands, even with the example of Enzo Fernandez in terms of physicality. So, yeah.
All right, let me catch up. Give the microphone to those in the chat. Catch up and hear what they have to say. We just need a solid goalkeeper, but I have a feeling we will stay with Sanchez to push for top four, whether we get it or not. I've seen Zubairu. Thank you for that. I've seen rumors suggesting that we're actually in advanced negotiations with Porto for what's his name? Diogo Costa, but I don't believe that. I haven't seen it from any reputable sources. It's Enzo physical. Enzo actually cannot measure Barco physically. In terms of physicality and aggression, he doesn't come close to Barco. He cannot. I think actually what he has over Barco is more experience. And I'm gonna you stop breathing on that hill. And that's me. Bobby, it looks like you have a very poor connection where you are. You're coming in and out. Saying hello to you too. Exactly, Mabas. Let's see anything we have here. Barco will turn out to be one of our best signing guys, a baller, and I believe that. I'm not saying I'm certain. He could end up disappointing, but we will see. Honestly, Bobby, I'm coming. Let me catch up with what we have here. Barco will turn out, I believe so, because he has the equipment. He has the tools, so to speak, in my opinion. But he could still go out on loan. We don't know. We cannot ignore this Barco's footballing intelligence, more importantly. He's a very, very intelligent player, excellent vision, excellent passing range. But I get it. I'm going to say this again. I've said this 1,000 times. A lot of Chelsea fans, they have found it difficult to look beyond that player, that Barco that was at Brighton. They've refused to accept that he's gotten more exposure, more experience, played tons of games in Europe, and also in the French league, and was part of Argentina's Argentine national team squad at the World Cup and played a few minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't just selected for the sake of it. He's that good. Does he need more experience? I agree. He still has a lot to learn, and I think the person most likely actually that will get him to start fighting at that level, Alonso. If he wants to use him as a midfielder, I think he will make him an even better player than he was for Strasbourg. He will cope. He will start firing quicker in the Premier League than Florian Wirtz. Much physical than Florian Wirtz, quicker than Wirtz, better passing range than Wirtz, actually. I will stop breathing on that here. So the point, I understand the need for physicality, but it has to be a mix, irrespective of how we see it. And Ziggy, I'm not sure who deleted Ziggy's message. Did he use all caps anywhere? So Barco, for me, I'm happy, and I'm for certain we're not even sure that he stays. So, but that's, by the way, let's see. Barco will be one of our best signings. He has the capability, then he's capable of becoming that because he's a well-equipped player, irrespective of where you want to play him. Chelsea need to concentrate on the Deadwood outdoor. I think a lot will happen, but we can't sell players that no club wants. So that makes it difficult. But Barco played in the EPL, didn't play much in the EPL, I have to be honest, just about six appearances for Brighton. And we knew exactly what we were doing when we signed him and sent him to Strasbourg because, yeah, we could see his talent. But Ziggy, thank you for joining. We have two AIs policing the chat. The Modman crazy, doesn't delete messages, instead banters with you. But the other one, Nightbot, deletes your message. I'm not sure why he deleted your message. Sorry about that. He played Premier League, La Liga, and French League 1. What else do we need from him? I get concern of the need, concern from some of our fans, not our fans actually, from Bobby and Jay. The lack of height, definitely a concern because, as Jay mentioned, he'd be dealing with a lot of much taller physical players in the Premier League. And I have to remind us that we've had players who are not even as tall as him, as quick as him, as aggressive as him, physical as him, that did very well in the Premier League. And he has, in terms of passing range, excellent passing range of vision. So I don't think he struggles in the Premier League. Let's say if he's a bit taller, maybe 6 foot plus and more bulky, he's bulkier than he is, that would be a plus. But he can still do well without those aspects that I just mentioned. But let's see. He says, if you want me to be your project manager, I'd like you to let me run the project my way, set KPIs, yep, and metrics to track. If I don't meet it, then you are unhappy. Sponsor free to change PM. Yeah, I get that. So if we have a manager, let him do his thing. We can, our opinions, we have every right to express our opinion or maybe detest certain players who are looking to sign, but it all comes down to what the manager wants. Physicality, if Estavo can play, I feel that Barco would do just well, irrespective of whether Estavo plays on the flanks and Barco plays centrally. Barco still mainly was a left back, actually.
For a long time. What are you saying? Who is going to be playing with him there?
Bobby, your sound is fainty. Your sound is fainty, Bobby. All right. Anything else here? Anything? I think we're all caught up there. Bobby, anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic? Your sound is very fainty, Bobby. Maybe you're part of half. You can say part of a meeting and part of the show at the same time. Yep, he's going in and out. Jay, anything else you want to send to Bobby is ready to speak.
Nah, I'm cool, coach.
All right, all right. But let's wait. We're not sure whether he stays or he goes, but we'll find out. So let's go back to this window here. I don't know if you have anything to say about what Javi, his responses to some interview questions, because he graced an interview on the BBC. You're interested in speaking about that, or you're good?
Um, I mean, have to look at the individual quotes, what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's move in general.
All right. And I'm happy that he's learned from his Madrid. He learned from his Madrid stint. Talked about
Yeah.
self-reflection, self-critical. So this one, I'm not sure where we are. I read this report yesterday, and I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm going to explain why I couldn't stop laughing. So let's read the report first of all. It reads, according to Matthew, is it Matthew? How you pronounce that? Moreto. Pep Chavarría is on the verge of joining Chelsea. The deal is expected to be worth around 25 million euros plus bonuses, which would make him the most expensive sale in Rayo Vallecano's history. The report states that an official announcement is set to come in the next few hours. This was yesterday. In the next few hours, as the two clubs finalize the remaining details, a significant defensive enforcement of the Blues, blah, blah, blah. So, main points, the deal is worth 25 million plus bonuses, euros to be more specific there. A record-breaking sale for Rayo Vallecano, I don't really care about that. Official announcement expected within hours. So, we're actually a day later, nothing has been announced. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not making progress. I think it'd be accurate to say we're actually on the verge of getting that deal across the line, because Fab had tweeted about us restarting talks with Rayo Vallecano and making progress, and he pinned it. Usually when he pins it with an eye emoji, sets of eyes emoji, and some other thing, it could happen. That's usually a good sign. But I hope we get this deal across the line, because the manager likes him. And for me, he reminds me of Cucurella when you look at certain aspect of his game, how aggressively he applies himself on the pitch, how physical he can be. And the only thing is that he's more technically gifted than Cucurella. So I want us to get this deal across the line. And especially if the manager wants him, which is, yeah, we've learned that the manager really wants the player. I think we'll get the deal across the line eventually. But Jay, let's hear your thoughts.
Look, obviously, I'm a bit surprised because we heard the news a few weeks back that Rayo has changed the terms of the deal, and they want
On
the
two occasions,
42,
right?
yeah, 42 or 45 million. I think they made like 45 million is the release clause, and we have to pay that. And that was a direct jump from what, 20 something. We were willing to pay 21, 22 million. So almost double, more than double actually. So that was
Mm-hmm.
quite weird. And yeah, even I wanted Chelsea to just move past uh, this deal, because you cannot really do a deal with club to change terms midway, and that too uh, with a rise almost double from what it was initially, seen. But it was surprising, and now we heard yesterday that almost at the same price, close to 25 million, deal is about to happen. And that is where I was surprised. Maybe they changed their mind again for the third time, this time for the betterment of Chelsea. I think I heard that their club is actually in a really bad situation. The stadium and the general financial health of the club is in dire situation.
Oh,
So I
I
think they need
see.
funds. They need funds, and they need
Mm.
money urgently. I actually saw some clips as well in which their president, I think club president, was actually helping the staff and servants clean the stadium. So that is quite a dire picture. Uh,
So
and I
we
think
are actually presenting them with an opportunity to make money, and they're trying to make the most of it.
exactly. I mean, they are struggling for sure. So maybe they think that it's Chelsea and it's a key player, and they heard that Alonso wants this player uh, very, very much, and that's why I thought they want to twist our hands and make the most of it, as you mentioned. But then I think we went silent as well for a while, and that's where they got the senses that they can maybe lose the 25 million as well if they continue this behavior. So I'll be happy if this deal happens for anything under 30 million. Uh, I think that will be fine. I'm talking in euros as well. So overall package, if it's between 25 and 30, I think it's fine. The player is what, 28, close to 28, and I think that's a fair age, and that's the price you're going to receive for someone of that age, and also he's not even played for Spanish national team as well. So all these factors does tell you that the price has to be something between 20 and 30 million. So if this is where we can get the deal, I would be really happy. The most important part is that Xavi wants this player very much. My stance. I wanted Luis Hall. I think that was the best player
I
available.
want him too.
But
I
if
mean, he again the much better option for us. But we're hearing that he would rather join up Manchester United. So why waste our energy? He's not. He's not. He's not
um,
open to coming back to Chelsea. We've heard.
I actually heard that the club actually likes Luis Hall.
Yeah,
The
that their
owners as well,
preference
and
would be
the
to sign Lewis Hall over the other targets.
yeah, and the player has a respect for Chelsea as well. So if negotiations were to happen, there was a chance that we could get him. But then again, that is a thing which is, going against the manager's choice, which they don't want to do, and which none of us fans also want the club to do. If Xavi wants Chavarría, then he should get Chavarría. Maybe in a wing-back system, and maybe what Xavi sees in him, that is that is something unique and special that maybe Luis Hall cannot give him. So yeah, despite my liking for Luis Hall, I would absolutely be, you know, content with Chavaria because that's what Xavi wants, and we have to back
So
the
would you
manager
be
at all
accurate? Would it be
costs.
accurate to say to conclude that we're definitely pushing ahead with for Chavaria because we see no path to getting
Absolutely,
to signing go ahead.
A- absolutely. Even when the club changed the terms, Rayo changed the terms, we did not quit and left the negotiation table. We were there. We went silent, but we were there, and that just shows you that how much the club and Xavi wants this certain player. So now that the deal is in the financial area where the club is comfortable, I think the deal will absolutely get done. I don't think that both of them are quite far away. And from yesterday's reports, it feels like it's only a formality before we can see the here we go from Fabrizio. So yeah, I think we can expect this deal to be done in the next few days.
So you're not concerned. You're not concerned about Chavaria's height or physicality.
I mean, he's called the King of Duels. That's the title that he has been given in Spain. So I don't know if a guy is, poor uh, physically, if that's the title he has been given. So he has to be good. With that title, he has to be good physically.
Okay. I
And he's
mean,
got
that's
a
good
height as
enough point
well.
for you to go. It's good enough for you to go with that one. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's a good enough point, or at least I'm satisfied with that thing only. But again,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. I will add that players who are coming from outside the Premier League, there's obviously always a question of wait and watch. We have to see before we can speak on him. So yeah.
All right, thank you for that. And Sean Abiona says, did Chelsea almost sign at 90? I don't remember. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. But it looks like, I don't know whether he's responded to you. They mentioned 42 million and now back to 21. Raya wants the money, it would seem. And we're just being nice because if they're that desperate, but also we don't want to risk them, someone else coming in for Chavaria, leading to them, inflating the price. Also, football is not about size and height. But yeah, if you have both, I think it gives you an edge. Pep Chavarria's position requires his size. Look what happened to Reece James. All right, Bobby, anything else you want to add before we move to the next item we have lined up? You there, Bobby? He might be in a meeting because he was driving to somewhere. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, let's switch. All right, Chalobah joins Como. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Como have reached a viable agreement to sign Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. The deal is here we go with a club-to-club agreement now in place. We are looking at a 30 million euro a fixed fee plus 6 million euros in add-ons. Chelsea have also secured a selling clause for the English centre-back. Chalobah was reportedly ready for Champions League football, but specifically wanted to move to Italy now. He is set to join Cesc Fabregas' side in Serie A. Good move for him. And as I've said 1,000 times, if I were Chalobah at this point, I'd be pushing to leave. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to stay, since every time the transfer window comes around, the club would have me on the market. So I wouldn't stay. He served us well. For me, my goodness, imagine if we then cancel his loan at Crystal Palace. Well, how bad would it be defensively? Irrespective of what you think of him, he's almost always fit, ready to play, and whenever he was selected, served us to the best of his abilities, and I respect him a lot. Honestly, I'm not against him. But I think, yeah, he wouldn't be content being a squad player as an England international. And as long as Thomas Tuchel is still the English national team coach, I think he still get a call up. He likes him. He's more of a traditional CB, but gets the job done on his day. Anything else? Yeah, I think we've addressed that one. Jay, a good price. 30 million fixed fee plus 6 million in add-ons. That's 31 in total plus a selling clause. Yeah, includes a selling clause, and Chalobah specifically wanted to move to Italy. So, and I'm happy. It looks like what we developed for our show works. It doesn't drain the system memory just the same way we experience, the same way X does when we have multiple tabs open to have our items lined up for discussion. But that's, by the way, let's hear you, Jay. Good luck to him, by the way.
Yeah, very much good luck to him. One of those, players I really liked, and I have defended him a lot in the last 2, 3 seasons. And what a professional and what a character. One of those players who actually loved Chelsea by heart, not formalities, but actually by heart. And he proved it on the pitch as well. He's not the most, talented or most gifted player in terms of ability, but his effort is his strength. He puts a lot of efforts. One of those players who would stay fit. That's their strength. Being very much durable.
I must say reliable. Not the best, but reliable.
Yeah, reliable, durable. You can call upon him and he will be ready. He will always be on the bench. Whenever a player gets injured, you will see Chalobah be the first to replace him. So, with that being said, obviously he wasn't the Chelsea level to be a starter. I always wanted him to be a bench player here, and even today, I would say that if we could have kept him as a bench player, that would have been awesome, because I believe that he's one of those.
But he wouldn't want to stay. He wouldn't want to stay.
He would not want,
you,
obviously,
if you were him? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, at the age of 26, after all the experience and exposure that he had under different managers, and the demand for him from all clubs outside of Premier League with Champions League football to offer as well, I think a player will obviously going to choose that. And especially when that he is surplus to demand, is not going to be a starter here, and people are actually looking to sell him as well. There's always that factor that he is a pure profit. He's from the academy, so financially, his sell will make more sense. And
But he's a limited player. In all honesty, I respect him. I'm nothing against him. I would have loved him to stay as a squad player. But yeah, we can do. We've always known we can do much better than him. Yeah, go ahead.
The fees is quite good. I think I was having this debate when a few weeks back with Domingo and Dante, when they said that there's no chance he's going to get more than 30 million. And I told them he's a 40 million guy. You will be shocked. And now
in
he
this
got
market, yeah.
36 million for him. And with the sell-on clause, it will get close to 40 million in the future. So we got that price. And I'm happy that we kept our stance and we did not budge when Como was trying to play hard. So a good fee, quite a decent fee, and he will get a really good manager to work with, and Champions League to offer, and an Italian league which would favor him a bit more. So I'm really happy for the player, and I think it's a good deal for us as well.
I agree. Bobby, I don't know whether you fixed your connection. It's been unstable. You've been coming in and out. I even called upon you to speak, but yeah. Are you there, Bobby? The chances are you're in a meeting. But before you get to speak, I have my bro, Richard Hughes, in the house. Coach, is there any way that we ship the two Frenchmen to Strasbourg, Fofana and the Sassi? I think Fofana is going to stay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to speak this about Fofana. And before, Michael Faladay, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining, even though you are at work. And you're listening to our insightful analysis as usual. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Your support means a lot to us. But I'm going to say this about what's his name, about Fofana. I think the fact that he had been out for how many seasons in a row, hadn't played consistently, meant that you could say his development, he didn't progress. He didn't progress as he should. Why? Because he had not been playing consistently. Had he been playing consistently, I think he'd be one of our most experienced and more stable center backs. So because of that injury that kept him out for the duration of time that it kept him out, that meant that, yeah, he didn't develop as he should. And every time you have him on the pitch, every now and then you see him make primary school level mistakes due to lack of proper development in his end. I think the club will keep him. He has the potential to become one of the best center backs, but needs to play a lot to get to that level, because as you could say, what you could call downtime, in my opinion. But I don't know, Bobby. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think we should sell Fofana. And the manager, he said he needs 5 CBs. I don't think we'll sign up to 3. I think Fofana stays, and then maybe we'll sign one more.
Tell everybody.
Go ahead.
He's one of those that has to stay. I heard your eulogy about Valentín Barco. Look, that kid's not the answer. Let's be real. One person
Bobby, who
doesn't
told you we're
play
signing him
in
as the answer?
midfield
Who
on
told
his
you
own.
we've signed him as the answer, Bobby?
Well, you're sounding like he's some kind of answer.
But I think
gonna
he's
be
an
a
excellent
liability.
player, and I'm going to keep saying that. But
Unless
go
there
ahead,
are
Bobby.
others that are going to be around him who will allow him to play, which we do not have at the moment. He's just a waste of space. He's physically going to be swatted by the other teams in the Premier League, whether you like it or not, whether you want to wish that somebody who is physically inept is going to rip up trees in the Premier League. The reality is he can't and he won't, unless we have the big guys around him. That's just the reality. That's just the simple truth. So I don't
Bobby,
know.
you cannot give us your opinion and tell us your opinion is the truth.
But it is the truth, coach.
No, you cannot tell us that you're certain that Barco will fail. That's practically what you're saying. Because we're not gonna surround him. You cannot tell us you're certain. I'm coming. I'm responding to what you said. You cannot tell us that you're certain that Barco will fail. Bobby, it looks like you're with the kiddos. Tell them I said hi. They shouldn't be listening to us fight.
No, you're in my ear.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that you cannot tell us that you're certain Barco is not going to do well, except if we have certain, you can say we have 4, 500, the Giants. You didn't give us a number. Surround him, that he's going to fail, and tell us is the truth. It's your opinion still.
Well, minimize it and gaslight it as much as you like, unless we have a physical player or two around him, he will not be of any effect whatsoever. In fact, he would end up just being a liability. I'll tell you that for free.
But do you agree it's just your opinion? You cannot tell us that's the truth.
That is the truth.
All right.
I'm telling you
No,
it's true.
all right, no problem. No problem. I've heard you, Bobby. You've told us the truth. Maybe, but I don't think it's the truth. It's just your opinion. You understand? You cannot just condemn a player because they are not as tall as what's his name? That former Englishman, but lanky but tall. No, not Kante. No.
Fabregas and Kante could never play together alone. As good as Kante was, they could never used to get slaughtered when they played alone. When Matic came in, it was a different story. So,
Did we win anything with Fabregas and Kante in our midfield?
What are you saying? Come on.
I'm asking you a question. But Bobby, that's by the way, here's the thing. I wouldn't even go to that extent. I don't think it's okay that the moment we sign a player, if that player is not tall or physical or bulky, you don't give them a chance.
Because that's what the team needs.
And I told you they all don't have to be Andre the Giant. We signed, how tall is Palestra? How tall is Morgan Rogers? One more player that we signed that's also tall. No, it's not about justification, Bobby. It has to be a balance. They all cannot be Andre the Giant.
It does have to be a balance.
Okay, Bobby, how about you? Do you not want the manager to get the players he wants? What do you want? And we're not even certain that Barco stays.
By the way, Barco is not even Alonso's signing. That's blooper all the way.
What can I say that? That Bluco signed him before we hired Alonso. That he's staying simply means Alonso wants him to stay.
Well, we don't know this thing, do we?
Hey, we don't know. So why are we even fighting over him? This is really funny.
We're fighting because I'm concerned about the midfield. And if we keep importing these little players, when we have little players, you will fail in the Premier League. It's that simple. So if we're going to start getting the Barcos of this world, as you said, it's a mixture. Let's look for some of the physical guys to go along with it. Because that is a problem at the moment.
So you wouldn't even consider his overall, his vision, his passing range, his how physical he can be on the pitch, his aggression. You wouldn't even consider those things.
I won't consider it without people around him to be able to do it.
Bobby, can I ask you this? How tall the Arsenal squad? How tall and how physical are they? Yeah, and how well did they do against PSG? Here's the thing for me. This is a no issue for me.
Was in Arsenal, it would probably be better for him. Why? Because there's Declan Rice, there's Moreno, and come the name the other midfielder they've got.
And Rice was there when England lost at the World Cup. When they were actually bullied even with their height, even though they were more physical than the Argentine national team players. Weren't they? No. I'm just trying to make a point that you're trying to make a point. I'm presenting a counterpoint, a counter opinion. I'm just saying they all don't have to be Andre the Giant. And in my opinion, it's really that simple. And I wouldn't even bother myself if the Barco only stays if the manager wants him to stay. There's no guarantee he actually stays at Chelsea. I get it. What drives this debate is because we've announced him, and you feel like we've signed him to be our main guy. And Jay is actually saying, go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
I'm saying that there is no chance of anything coming out of that guy without having some robust individuals around him.
Like who and who? Okay, give us some names. Like who and who? All right, I'm going to continue reading this. Bobby's connection isn't stable. Jay, let's say your thoughts on Richard Hughes' decision. You could say suggestion on what he wants the club to do with Fofana and Disasi. I think Fofana stays. Plus, even if we want to sell him, I don't think it would make sense to sell him now. We'll take a huge L. And because we want 5 CBs, I wouldn't mind him being one of those 5 CBs. Get to play now and then, and you can say catch up with the downtime he had when he was out injured for a long period of time. But let's hear you, Jay.
Look, ideally, Bajeshil, Disasi, Fofana, and Tosin all should be, all should be sold, and they should not be at our club. Look, that's the standard that we need to have in the Premier League for a club like Chelsea. But we are not at the ideal stage. We are doing a lot of work in different parts of the pitch with our team, and I think Fofana is quite low in priority right now to deal with him. And as you mentioned, it's a different case because we bought him for around 70 million or even more, and that was very, very costly for a centre back. I think he's second to only Harry Maguire as the most expensive centre back signing ever in the Premier League. And
who's the third? Is it Van Dijk?
Now, Van Dijk was quite cheap. As far as I can remember, from Southampton. But I mean, not quite cheap, but I don't think he's in top 3 or top 5. But these two were 1 and 2. So and he's on high wages as well. So the practical thing or the practical reality is that there are no ideal suitors for him who can buy him. Financially, it's a very hard deal, and he's an injury player as well. There are a lot of factors which hinders the deal for Fofana. I would ideally want him gone. I think we should be having someone else. But I would say the same thing with a lot of transfers. My copium or my hopium, say it how you want, but if a certain guy that I don't think is that good, but if he's not a starter next season, then I'll be fine with it, or I can be content with it. And same goes for Fofana as well. I don't think he's going to be a starter for us, even in the back 4 or back 3. And that's where things helps. He can stay, he can play the cup games, and he can maybe come from the bench as well as a cover for injuries. To that thing, he's good. I will be okay with all that. If he's a starter,
There was
yeah.
a very interesting thing that Alonso said. In the course of the season, you have injuries, suspension.
Sorry, Bobby, I can barely hear you, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounds better. Maybe I need to increase my volume too. Go ahead.
I'm on the road. You have
injuries.
You have suspension. You need squad depth. So all this starting coming off the bench, it's just irrelevant. Or even if you're just playing Premier League and cup games, football is a squad sport. You may not need as many in terms of numbers.
You there, Bobby? Bobby, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Much better.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him, Jay?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear him.
I can't hear him, but yeah, since you can hear him, go ahead. Just let me know when he drops.
Yeah.
You still need your 25-man squad. And can you hear me, coach?
Crystal clear, much better.
Right. And all these players that we're saying, they should go. Alonso himself said he needs 4 to 5 centre backs, of which you're going to have Fofana. It's very easy to say a player go. For who? That's the difficulty.
Look at what
Look
we've
at what
done with
we've done
Andre
with Andre
Santos now.
Santos now.
I'm not saying that
I'm
he
not
shouldn't
saying
have
that
been
he shouldn't have
sold,
been
but
sold,
he's gone now.
but he's
And
gone
look at the
now.
midfield.
And look at the midfield.
What have we replaced
What have
him
we
with?
replaced
And
him
please
with?
don't say
And
Jordan
please don't
Henderson.
say Jordan
You
Henderson.
know,
You know,
the midfield is
the midfield
struggling.
is struggling.
Don't
Don't
rely on
rely
Lavia.
on
He's
Lavia.
told us
He's
all he's
told us
about.
all he's about.
Esugo is
Sugo
just
is
a
just
backup
a
to
backup to
Caicedo.
Caicedo.
We need
We
players
need
there.
players there.
So,
So,
we're
we're
not,
not.
I never
I never
subscribe
subscribed
to all
to
this
all this
idea of,
idea of,
oh, this
oh,
player
this
should
player
go,
should
that
go,
player
that
should
player
go,
should go,
unless they
unless
really
they really
prove
prove
that they
that they
should
should
go,
go,
like the
like
likes
the
of
likes of
Delap
Delap
and
and
Tosin.
Tosin.
I'll be
I'll be
very
very
hesitant
hesitant
to just
to just
offload some
offload
of the
some of the
talent we
talent we
already
already
have
have
in the
in the
squad.
squad.
Right. Okay, Modman attacking to someone. And Faladay here says, what if Chelsea is only using Chavarría as a decoy? I think it's more than a decoy. We want him. The manager wants him. I think it's been everywhere from some of the most reputable sources there on X everywhere have been reporting of our interest on the player. Coach, Richard said, I always respect everyone's opinion here. Please make a point for me. How come every year we want to sell one of the hardest working players as Chalobah, yet the guy that is laughing and enjoying PS stays? Do I like Fofana's attitude? No. I'd rather Chalobah stay over him. And I'm not saying he's a much better ball playing defender than Chalobah. And I think definitely a better aerially than Chalobah, right? But Chalobah, very reliable. You get 100% commitment from Chalobah. I think we've already talked about that already. And Jay also talked about that at length too. But Fofana, we're pretty much more like a pen. You could say, I'm going to use some African saying here. When a tetafly pitches on your, that thing behind between your legs, if you in a rush try to swat it to kill it, you hurt yourself. And if you say, okay, leave it, let's see if it takes off on its own, it bites the heck out of you. You get that? So the point I'm trying to make here, Fofana is a pain. In that place I explained, right? If we sell him in a rush, we will make a huge loss because he actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, because how many games has he played for us? I don't know. And then if we keep him, you could argue there's no guarantee he stays fit. And as I've explained, I think there's a good player in there, but because, he had that injury that kept him out of the squad for a prolonged period of time that dwarfed his development, which is the reason why whenever we have him on the pitch, we see him every now and then do something that suggests he's still raw or he's still playing at primary school level. Had he been playing consistently, I think he'd be one of our most reliable and experienced players. So I don't want to compare him with Chalobah. It just doesn't make sense. I would have loved Chalobah to stay, but would Chalobah be content in being a squad player? I'd say no. If I were Chalobah, I'd push to move, actually, because it just doesn't make sense that every time the transfer window comes around, the club will have him on the market, on sale. So I'm not sure how else to respond to that. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And Chalobah actually was selling pure profit. We didn't pay anything to sign him. So there are a multitude of reasons that make it a lot easier to sell Chalobah. As good as I'd say he's been for us, and as well as I've already mentioned he's served us, we can do better than him. If he performs at the level of Levi Cowell or Reece James, or measure them in terms of his overall ball playing ability, I think we wouldn't be looking to sell him. But unfortunately, it is what it is. I get your point. And thank you for respecting everyone's opinion because that's how we operate here. Everybody's opinion matters here. It's always a debate and rarely a union. That's you could argue modus operandi. And we like it that way. But Bobby, go ahead if you were saying something. Do we still have Bobby there, or is he disconnected? But Richard here says, "Whooping."
I'm here. I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. Go ahead if you. Okay. Whooping us 6-2 is what is it? Whooping or whooping? Maybe whooping us 6-2 is the one all the commentators are advocating to stay for bench papers. Yet Chalobah can play 3 positions, but Yeli, we want him out. I don't think. Listen, we want him out, and the traitors to sit on the bench and get paid. I think I understand where you're coming from. I dislike Fofana's attitude, especially when we were struggling under Rosinia. It was obvious for everyone to see. He's always, you can say, causing one problem or the other, and he thinks he's the best in the world. I get it. But Chalobah would want to leave too. And I respect him, and he leaves on a high, in my opinion. South does well, won how many trophies in total? I think he won 2 under Thomas Tuchel, right?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a player's ability is not the only factor that we have to consider before selling and staying at Chelsea, especially in 2026. You have to have a financial value, and you have to be interested club that needs to be interested clubs as well. These are the factors that favors Chalobah before Fofana, and hence why he is being sold. And I agree that Chalobah would be a better bench player in terms of ability, but there is no market or value for Fofana out there. So we are forced to sell Chalobah, and that's unfortunate how it works.
Yeah, no market for Fofana. Yep, I agree. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, Bobby, anything else you want to add to that?
No, not really. Just
All
got
right.
in, so I'll be more
You're
stable
settled
now.
in. It looks like you settled down after some mini travel.
I'm just getting in now.
Okay. All right, let's see. Next item, Trevor Chalobah. Good luck to him. Not a bad business for us, I think, but still, I would have loved him to stay. But if I were him, I'd leave too. All right. Welbeck's transfer fee for Chelsea. This is according to at Sport. I'm not sure what outlet that is, but we're using it anyway. It reads, according to Sports, Chelsea have completed a move for Danny Welbeck. The report states the London club paid a £5 million fee, roughly 5.8 million euros, to sign the forward from Brighton. It's a significant move for the veteran striker as he heads to Stamford Bridge. We will keep you updated as more details on this deal emerge. I think that's it at this point. What else do I want to know? A selling clause for him? No. Or a buyback clause? I think he's an excellent signing for us, honestly, and I appreciate him. He's not coming to be a regular starter, but at least if he comes on, that if our wingers or if our creators can find him 10 times, he'd put away the chances at least 8 times. He's that efficient. And as Dante did put it the other day, he's become, you could say, a specialist. Excellent finisher with his head, with his suit, and a very, very intelligent player. And I think were you the one that said on the panel here, Jay, he's that sort of player that he became better as he ages. He becomes better as he ages. The older he is, the better he is at playing football, honestly. At scoring goals, to be more specific in this case.
Numbers testify for this fact, and obviously we have been watching him for the past seasons as well. That he is much better, numerically and also to the eyes when his career progressed at Brighton rather than at Arsenal or Manchester United. So that testifies that he has actually become a better player while getting much older.
Yeah, I'm happy we signed him. Shrewd business, I must say. Smart business, and I'm happy the manager also wanted him. So we have a good mix now, and I want Emera to stay, even if it's possible, let Jackson stay too. But I think one of them will leave. And I'll say, given if we're
I
to
think
believe,
I
go
think
ahead,
it's
Bobby.
very, I think it's very important we keep Jackson. We
I
really,
wouldn't mind
really
him over
need Jackson
Emera and
because
vice versa. But go
what
ahead.
I'm seeing in that Chelsea kind of midfield stroke offensive area is
Mhm.
very weak. I think Cole Palmer, I don't know. He's lightweight. I don't know what's happened to Cole Palmer, but I'm not really trusting him that much um, without Jackson. I think Jackson could be very key to us this season.
Jay, what do you make of Bobby's concern about Cole Palmer? I'm not concerned. It's just preseason. And actually, I get it, he didn't score goals. I think preseason so far, he has 1 assist. And in that last game, he wasn't as bad as some people make it to be. But let's hear your thoughts on how Bobby feels about his concerns. I think Bobby, more importantly, wants us to keep Jackson because he believes Jackson will be the key to unlocking the Cole Palmer, which I agree. I think if Jackson stays, I think he helps Cole Palmer. You could say do better in the coming season. But let's say you Dante do well maybe. Let's say you
Um,
Jay.
I agree and I disagree with Bobby. I agree that Jackson should stay. I have been advocating it for since the start of the window. I think that gives us strength, much bigger strength in terms of quality as well as numbers. He can play multiple positions as well. He can be a backup and he can be a good option from the bench as well. So Jackson does offer all those things. Although, if you ask me, is that going to happen? I would say no. I think he would be going to Villa. I don't. Again, I would mention that he holds strong financial value in himself. So that is the factor where I think the owners would like to sell him. About Palmer, um, I don't think he had any disaster.
He did, in my opinion.
Is there an echo, coach?
No echo. The sound is perfect.
Yeah. I think, look, I think people are overreacting. It has been only 2 games. He has been rested, and it's not like he had a disastrous 2 games. He was playing some good football. He was having some good passes as well. If Astro and João Pedro had finished, 1 or 2 chances, he would have more assists in these 2 games
And
as well.
he seemed to have operated
Obviously,
more in a deeper position than usual, right? In those
yeah,
two games.
he has been going, more involved with the build-up, helping the midfield as well. And we have to consider that the midfield is very light. Our usual starters are not here, so he has to take that duty of going and getting involved with the midfield and take the ball early and help it. So obviously he's not putting in a lot of work. He's not running up and down. I can also feel that, but that can also be down to the condition of the pitches. That could be a decision by the coaching staff as well. That for the key players, you need to relax a bit. You don't need to go all out on those pitches because there is a high risk of injuries. There are a lot of factors which are involved. Why some players are showing limited energy or limited efforts on the pitch in these opening 2 games. I think Palmer is totally fine. I think he's going to do really well. I think he will get a lot of help from Rogers as well. And if we get the stable midfield, that is Caicedo and Enzo, or another new signing, I think he would be more relaxed to get more relaxed to stay in the attacking areas and focus on the goal scoring ability as well. So I'm totally fine with it. I don't think Palmer has any issues, and I also agree. I also don't agree that we are weaker in the attacking areas. I think we are quite strong. Obviously, Rogers makes us really strong as well.
You could argue we're actually
And
spoiled in that department.
yeah, prior to Welbeck, I was a bit worried in the strikers department, but I'm totally thrilled now because I know Jaubert was going to start, and if we need help from the bench, we got a certified player who has the ability to, change the game in the last 10 minutes of the game, which Welbeck has, shown in the last few years. So I think we are fine in attack as well. I think people are a bit overreacting in terms of Palmer's performances. He's totally fine. He's just conserved in terms of, you know, being rested for the whole month, and also the conditions of the pitches also does not allow you to, give your all, because there is a high risk a player can get injured.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jay, for that. We move on and see what else we have lined up here to talk about. Give me a second here. Let me see. What am I doing here? Jay, are you hearing background noises from my end? Let me check my. Are you? Are you,
None,
Jay?
none, no,
Okay. Okay, so my settings is good. All right. This year, Danny Welbeck, we've talked about his signing. Bobby, I don't know, you want to add talk about Danny Welbeck, or you good?
Yeah, Danny's
Yeah,
okay.
Danny's okay.
Yet again, we seem to
We
just be
seem to
buying
just be buying
players
players
that are
that are
supposedly backup.
supposedly backup.
Since we bought
Since we bought
Morgan Rogers,
Morgan Rogers,
I haven't seen a
I haven't
single
seen a
purchase
single
that
purchase
is
that is
convincingly going to
convincingly
move the
going to
needle.
move the needle.
Danny Welbeck,
Danny
backup.
Welbeck, backup.
Still not
Still
sure
not
exactly
sure
what
exactly
Jordan
what
Henderson
Jordan
is.
Henderson is.
And
And
your friend
your friend
Barco.
Barco.
I mean,
I mean,
it's weak
it's weak
stuff.
stuff.
The
The
team is
team is
weak.
weak.
I
I
can't
can't
emphasize this
emphasize this
more
more
strongly.
strongly.
That
That
team,
team,
especially in
especially in
midfield, is
midfield, is
weak.
weak.
Cole
Cole
Palmer
Palmer
is
is
lightweight.
lightweight.
We
We
need to
need to
keep
keep
Jackson.
Jackson.
Jackson will
Jackson
do a
will do a
lot for
lot
that
for that
team,
team,
but even
but even
he's not a
he's not a
midfielder.
midfielder.
There's every
There's every
reason for
reason
us to
for
be
us to be
concerned right
concerned
now
right now
until we
until
get
we
that
get that
midfielder in,
midfielder in,
and
and
until we
until
say,
we
right,
say,
we're
right, we're
keeping
keeping
Jackson.
Jackson.
And
And
there's some
there's some
crazy
crazy
people out
people
there
out there
saying we should
saying we
get
should
rid of
get rid of
Neto.
Neto.
Really?
Really?
For who?
For who?
Gittins?
Gittins?
Do me a
Do me a
favor.
favor.
All right. Let's see. This year talks about McPhee or McPhee. How do you pronounce? What's the correct pronunciation of that name? Before we continue, please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're currently at 39 likes. I do believe we can do a lot better than that. So, McPhee says, according to Nizaki and Salah, Chelsea have secured a major addition to their backroom staff. Austin McPhee Austin McPhee is joining the club from Aston Villa to serve as the Blues' new set-piece coach. McPhee, who has earned a strong reputation for his work at Villa Park, is reportedly set to link up with the Chelsea squad during their trip to Hong Kong. This move highlights the club's continued focus on strengthening their technical staff ahead of the new campaign. Very, very important. We talked about how our former set-piece coach was politely fired, in my opinion. A lot of people think he was promoted. I don't think so. But whatever that was the case, I don't really care. But I'm happy we hired this guy. And I think in his approach, something is you can say, I'd be accurate to say actually scientifically driven, not necessarily trying to block the view of the goalkeeper, trying to punch people, strangle people, or put players on the chokehold. You know where I'm going at Jay. His is you could say what's the language I'm looking for? A series of synchronized moves, or maybe more like choreography in his case, patterns, and they scored tons of goals from set piece situations. So he's scientifically driven, not like Arsenal's. They were punching people, holding goalkeepers, putting players on a chokehold, and the Premier League rules at the time adapted to the way Arsenal wanted to play and not the other way around. I think Arsenal, if that's how they hope to get set piece, score goals from set piece in the new season, I think they're going to have a lot of issues, because I'm quite sure the FA are paying attention to the complaints from other clubs who felt like Arsenal cheated their way to the title with the way the sort of goals they score from set piece situations. But I'm happy we're hiring this guy because I've seen his approach, and I love it. Pleasing to the eyes, more importantly, but with results. But let's hear you, Jay.
Look, much needed addition to our coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
The Brentford coach that we hired, who was actually quite good at Brentford as well, but and we did improve, but I think the improvement was slightly. We were still conceding a lot, and we were not scoring to the numbers that we expected from him. Obviously, that also goes down to your build up of the squad. We were not physical enough prior to this season. We did not have a lot of tall guys as well. So even if you got tall guys like Badiashile, they are actually poor in there. So a coach cannot be a magician. He cannot do things on his own. He needs a good squad, some strong and physical guy. And tall as well, and only then he can apply his science and all the coaching stuff to improve us in the set piece department. But now that this guy from Villa is coming, he's got good record. He's only second to Arsenal in Europe. I think in the Premier League he's not down in terms of Villa's ranking and scoring goals from set pieces. I think he's fifth. So he's got quite a good record. And hiring such an coach or assistant is no harm. We're only going to get now. The example of Arsenal is obviously there. I think we need to stop looking down on Arsenal in terms of their aerial ability and the way they score goals. Obviously, the cheating part where they foul players or the rivals to get their way around. That part is obviously wrong and should be criticized. Then again, they are actually really good. Even if you remove that part, the FA actually helps them in certain in a lot of matches. Even if you remove that, they are good in the air. They've got a way around this technique, and that should be appreciated. And as I mentioned in the previous streams, that you can either cry about it and stay in your corner, just bang the band about we would play technically, we will play good football. We are not going to do this, and we are not going to adapt. Then we are only going to struggle, because you can be really good. You can be the Barcelona of 2012-13 or Real Madrid in terms of technical football, but still you are not going to go to the next level if you do not adapt to the physical part of the Premier League and dominating the set pieces, that is free kicks and corners. I think that is a major part of your team's success in the Premier League. So if you want to take the next step, that is challenging for the title, winning titles, winning serious titles, especially the Premier League and the Cup games, where a lot of Premier League teams are involved, then you have to adapt, and you have to also increase your numbers from the set. I think we are taking the right step in this concern. So I am really happy. We need to do exactly what Arsenal is doing in terms of capabilities of converting corners and set pieces, and adding another dimension of scoring goals. That is a really important thing to do, and I'm really happy that we are working towards it. With hiring the best people in the game. So overall I'm really happy that we got this guy.
Yeah, I am happy. I like his approach because, the truth remains Arsenal's approach, the aspect of the cheating aspect of the whole thing, I don't think goes away. I don't think he will. But Ziggy thinks I'm sleeping. Is Coach sleeping? No, I'm not sleeping, Ziggy. I was reading something on my device, trying to see if anything new emerged as the show progressed so that I can add it to the presentation window. No, I'm not. What noise? I'm not hearing any noise, really. Guys, I think, no, I'm not. just shoo and get out. Bobby is also not connected. So let's go to the presentation window and try to discuss the next item available there. So what do we have? McPhee. All right, Chelsea have announced the signing of England international Jordan Henderson. So I'm going to read that. According to Chelsea Football Club, the Blues have officially completed the signing of England international Jordan Henderson. The club made the announcement today, confirming that the experienced midfielder will be joining the squad at Stamford Bridge. Henderson brings a wealth of experience and top-level experience to West London. We are waiting on further details regarding the contract length and fee, but the deal is now officially done. What else we have here? Henderson on why he joined Chelsea. Yeah, he says having this opportunity to be at this club and working under this manager Xabi Alonso is very special for him. Jordan Henderson, for me, a good signing for reasons I've talked about. I know Bobby doesn't really fancy that, but he's open to seeing what he brings to the table. We've been there before, and no need to remind him, Bobby. He has every right to question the signing. I think we've made a few good younger signings, and a mix of players of his experience and age for me makes a whole lot of difference, and it's just my opinion. I'm not going to read that one. I don't want to stop people with that. Coach says, Coach, do you like who? Ukamoti, the South African beer. I can't wait to visit Tobago someday in South Africa and try it. And I learned about it from a song, but I'm not going to sing that song now. I'm actually on the verge of losing my voice. Yeah, a lot of shouting during my voices game. But that's, by the way, let's see. Jay, look, for me, good signing. I know you're skeptical. You're not too sure what he brings. But for me, good signing. And I look forward to him helping us behaves in a mature manner on the pitch and also contributing the best he can whenever called upon to play, because I think he's still going to play. Most likely a lot of games. And because of he doesn't have the legs anymore, whatever he has on the bench, we have him on the pitch. I think the manager will find a way to mitigate that concern. Maybe to not allow that concern of the lack of pace from him be an issue. But if you watched him, even last season, he played 30 plus games. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's a very intelligent player, can orchestrate defense splitting passes, can read the game very well. That you, just like Thiago Silva at Chelsea, you'd hardly get the opportunity. You wouldn't even get too much opportunity to race against him, let alone outpace him. We're not signing him to come be a captain or to be a main midfielder, but he will play a part. And the manager wanted him, more importantly, even if you think we shouldn't have signed him. I mean, who am I to blow against the wind if I'm the one in question? But let's hear you, Jay.
Look, I have my reservations for this signing. I was quite reserved for it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it because one fact is that he is a second or third choice in terms of experienced guy that Alonso or the club wanted. We tried for Xhaka, it did not happen. We tried for Stones, it did not happen. And then we went for Henderson. So obviously it does not fill me with that much excitement that we are going for a third choice player. Although experience is something that he is very rich in. He has experienced the highest of levels, won a lot of stuff with Liverpool as well, experienced the Saudi tour as well, played for Ajax, and obviously his previous careers all around Europe and England as well. So brings a ton of experience. He's really good with the English players, the young English players as well. Being part of the World Cup squad of Thomas Tuchel also adds some vision to it. So Mabas is complaining. I think there's some background noise when I speak.
What
I don't know. I can't hear anything.
But I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, Jay.
Yeah, even I can't. I'm hearing it perfectly fine. But anyways, obviously I'm reserved with it. But with the more pictures and quotes I've heard from him today, he definitely carries that aura. He definitely has that mentality and that experience. You can just feel it through the words that he's speaking. And a lot of other English players in the squad of in the World Cup squad as well spoken really well about him and what intangibles he brings. I'm absolutely fine. Actually, I advocated for it that we need certain type of guys in our squad. Now we got Welbeck as well. We've got Henderson now as well. So these are the guys that are going to bring a lot of experience. We needed these guys. And if he's really good with the English team or the English player, then obviously he's going to help a lot. We have seen that Morgan Rogers is particularly very excited about him. So there is a gap between. There is sometimes a gap between the player and the coach. And you need the coach guys in your squad who are really experienced. They can fill in those situations where a manager wants to convey something, but the squad is not understanding. And these type of players come and help in these situations and translate it better. So the camaraderie is overall good. I would be much happier if he could have played. If he could play a bigger role in terms of doing stuff on the pitch. But maybe he would. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting him to play more in the cup games.
Your only concern is that he wasn't our first choice.
Yeah, obviously.
That's your only concern, or a lot more. Because I was gonna say that I could see you saying the same thing had it not been that when we went for Xhaka, we knew that he'd already played under Xabi Alonso and was part of that invisible title winning squad at Bayer Leverkusen. I think you'd be saying the same thing too. Henderson played 30 plus games for Brentford last season. But go ahead, what you were saying.
Yeah, look, his contribution on the pitch, that is my only worry. And he's not the same player as Xhaka. And obviously Xhaka has played with Xabi Alonso. He would have been perfect for a midfield as well. On what Alonso wanted in that midfield. And translating what Xabi's technical ideas were to the Xhaka would have done that much better. But Henderson obviously I think he can learn that quicker as well. As I mentioned that how he will contribute for the team on the pitch in terms of playing minutes. That is where I will have wait and watch. That is where I am reserved of concern because I don't think he would play a lot of parts, especially in the Premier League. But I don't think that the club are actually looking for him playing a role on the pitch. I think they wanted him for certain stuff, the experience and helping the squad with the intangibles. And I think if that's the part, and if we are going to sign another midfielder, which I think is a very much required need of the squad right now. I will be fine. But if he is going to be the final in the midfield, then I would be very much concerned. He is very much limited in terms of how on the pitch. If you're going to sign, say Scott or Wharton.
Okay, you disconnected, but you're back, Jay. You're back.
Sorry.
You're back. You were disconnected.
I'm not sure where I left actually. But yeah, that's my general thought on Henderson.
Yeah, but you're willing to give him a chance because we don't know.
Absolutely.
And I did agree that there's a chance he actually played a lot. He plays a lot more than people don't know he play. Don't believe it play. Yeah.
Absolutely. As I said, if we add Wharton or Scott to the squad, then I would be more, comfortable with Henderson because then
there's still a possibility that happens.
Yeah, because then it speaks to me that he is actually, won't be the burden of
Playing
playing
that
on the
much.
field a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you for that, Jay. We have Jesus Christ, I can't even remember any of your former names. Did you catch the part where the pay asked for 50% of stadium revenue ticket from Corinthians? Jesus. Is it that greedy, or maybe it's that made up? Do you see that, Jay? I don't believe that. Why would you're joking, right, bro? You're joking, right? All right, I think Dante busy. It's a busy period for him. I know that, but yeah, the pay. I'm not surprised. He's that sort of character. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Honestly, I do not know. But Jesus Christ, that's greed, really. All right, let me see. Hakim, thank you for joining us on the panel. How have you been, man?
Yeah, I've been good. It's been a while.
Excellent.
But I think I don't know if I don't know if
I
it's
don't know
only
if it's
from
only
me
from me
because
because
I can hear a
I
lot
can
of
hear a lot of
audio
audio
feedback.
feedback. When I speak,
Not you, but
not
the
you,
other
but the other
panel.
panel. So maybe they've had a shaky connection, so maybe they need to go out and come back in. But more importantly, thank you for joining, Hakim. Where do you want to come in? You've been listening, right?
I've been
I've been
listening.
listening. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's
So
from
where
me.
you want to come in?
I think I have to.
I think I have to
Log in and
log in and
log out and
log
log
out
back
and
and
log
log
back
in
and log in. All right, but
because
I
of
can hear
the
you.
audio feedback.
Okay, you have audio feedback too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I need to refresh my end too. Why? Okay, I'll let you when you start speaking. Then I'll refresh my end.
Okay, let me do
Oh,
that.
okay, let me do that. Okay. All right. This, according to Santi JFM, there's been a lot of speculations with regards to what Chelsea plan to do with Mihailo Mudryk. But this particular report from Santi JFM, he reads, according to Santi, owner of Foot Mercato, he said Chelsea are planning a surprise loan move for Mihailo Mudryk. While there has been speculation that the club would prefer to keep him in the Premier League to help him adapt to English football, the report indicates that Chelsea actually wanted to send the winger to Strasbourg. This potential move to League One side, who share ownership with Chelsea, would be intended to help the 25-year-old find his form. But yeah, let's see what happens there. Once Hakim comes back, I will refresh my system to see maybe I'm the reason to be sure that I'm not the reason for the issue. But you guys say my sound is good, so that's not a guarantee that it's not coming from my end. Yeah, we've talked about Barco signing. I don't think anything new emerged as the show progressed. What I'm going to check here is the things. Let me see if anything new emerged. Okay. Genesis Antwi has completed Antwi. How you pronounce his last name? The Chelsea Academy kid has completed a season-long loan move to League One side Strasbourg. Good move for him. I hope he gets to play. Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson are surplus to requirement at Chelsea Stamford Bridge, according to Alex Crook. So it looks like both will end up leaving the club. Yeah, I see that too. You were going in and out. It looks like, if we're to believe Alex Crook, it looks like Delap and Nicholas Jackson will both end up leaving Chelsea Football Club. It is what it is. Because since we're not hearing a lot about the future of Emera, So this is believable. But if Jackson stays, I wouldn't mind. The lab, I think he should leave for his own good, really. Morgan Rogers during private training session shooting. I can't wait for him to join the squad. Is he going to join them or is he going to wait till they come back? So according to, let's see who. Thank you so much, Atman. I appreciate you. Thanks for the encouragement, my bro. Thank you so much for that. According to Real Sirs, how'd you pronounce that? This signing Henderson to Chelsea is a huge coup in Chelsea's drive for experience and bring them a veteran who has proven he can still add value to Premier League sides, and also you can say keep the young players in check. Okay, says yes, Kachila. I agree with you. The lab should leave for the sake of his own career. Plus, he is in Chelsea level. I don't really care about the latter part. We don't play the sort of football that will bring out the best in him. And the Chalobah will have his Como medical tomorrow. Something interesting that I'm looking at on my iPad screen here. Jordan Henderson actually played together with Yoel Hato. Jordan Henderson, there's a few of the lads that I already know from England. Also, I know Yoel Hato from Ajax as well, who I had a good relationship with. So I know quite a few of the boys. Whether that relationship wields any measure of influence with regards to how to get to learn, I'm not certain about that. But Hato, I think he stays. I think he probably gets to play a lot. Pictured here, we see Pedro Neto in training. Mihailo Mudryk also, both all smiles. I wouldn't be surprised if Hato, if what's his name? I wouldn't be surprised if Mudryk ends up staying at Chelsea. More like just staying with the squad to get up to speed, and when he's fully fit and ready to start games, then he gets a chance to play. All right, this one here reads, Jordan Henderson, for me, football is a team sport, and everything should be about the team. And throughout my career, everything that I've tried to do has been for the team, really, and tried to make people around us better, to try to be the best teammate that I can be, to help other teams. And you could argue our manager, he knows all these stuff, which you could argue was why he pushed for us to sign him. When I am on the training pitch, it's about having them relationships where you can demand from players, but also knowing the right times to have conversations and be a bit, have a laugh and a joke as well. I think that getting the balance, we need that. Jordan Henderson also went ahead to say, as soon as I heard about the chance to come here and the opportunity, it was an easy decision, really. Mabasa saying the lab doesn't suit our system. He's an old school striker, just like Chris Sutton. Plus, he plays like he is just a modern day version of him. It's a fact. When you tell us your opinion, don't tell us it's a fact. I don't like that. Not a lot of stuff out there. We heard yesterday that we're on the verge of completing the sign of Pep Chavarría. That hasn't happened. I think I might have to open. Let me try and do this. Let me go back to X and see if we can see things from Vince's timeline. Some interesting stuff there. Give me a second. I'm trying to fix this. All right. Not a lot of stuff have emerged since the show started. We haven't heard anything new about Chelsea's pursuit, or maybe getting the Pep Chavarría deal across the line, it's gone quiet. Nothing new. But I'm gonna go to Vince's timeline to see. You never know. Genesis Antwi heads to Strasbourg on loan. No, you don't have to say that. That's okay. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm not sure anything new and interesting emerged as the show progressed, but we're gonna give it a little bit of go. Just go news hunting on Vince's timeline, then call it a day in a few minutes if nothing new emerged. I need to go do the Jordan Henderson to welcome graphics. I haven't done his, and I think he will help us a lot. I get the skepticism from Chelsea fans. Things. Mabasia says, Coach, has good. It's not just like Palmer. No, I'm not. I'd rather fire, maybe. I'm just gonna remove this. More importantly, I hope Dante is okay. As a list of my concern. I hate it when people call me when I'm in the middle of a show. All right, more likes, people. We're stuck at 45 likes. I do believe we can do a lot better than that. So if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So we're going to go news hunting. And once we're done with news hunting, we will call it a day. I hate using X. Don't want to do that anymore. That's because we've created something that makes it a lot easier for us to present the news items we want to present without having to open too many tabs, which ends up draining the life out of the system memory, leading to it shutting down. So Genesis Antwi has completed a season-long loan move to League One side Strasbourg. I hope he gets to play. I hope he really do hope he gets to play. So a lot of comments here. Let's see what we have here. Give me a second there. Ben Jacobs on Henderson and well back to Chelsea. This is Chelsea realizing that their model needs not just experience and age, but positive dressing room characters as well. And my information is that one of the key voices in all of this is Dave Fallows. We did talk about this the other day. Dave Fallows, who's one of 5 sporting directors at Chelsea, ex-Liverpool, and naturally Henderson will know Fallows. So Fallows must have been the one that suggested we go for Henderson because he knows him very well. And I think it was a few days ago, Dante was on the panel on that particular occasion. We talked about how Fallows definitely must have a hand in how much we've changed our recruitment strategy and the sort of players we're signing. Because I remember watching one of Jan's videos when we heard that he's joined Chelsea, where I learned from that video that he advised the club to change the strategy, focus on being a bit more defensively solid, more physicality in the squad, then make subsequent changes to suit the way we want to play beautiful football and all of that. So I don't think we should take his you can say his role in all the positive changes we've seen so far for granted. Genesis to Strasbourg would be a good move for him. plus he would become one of the best young right back, right wing back, right midfield. Oh, he plays in multiple positions. I don't know him that well. I hope he does well. And Sean Abiana says, do you see Diogo Costa happening, coach? It's a difficult one. And here's why I'm going to say that. I've seen Tabejo did share a post or a report from a particular source that he's saying he trusts. He calls it one of the best, suggesting that we're actually in advanced negotiations with FC Porto as we try to get a deal to sign Diogo Costa. But I can't say I believe that report. I don't know what's going to happen because we don't know how Alonso sees, how he sees Robert Sanchez and Mike Pendas. But if we sign Diogo Costa, be rest assured that Robert Sanchez will leave this window. But I'm not sure whether to believe that particular report. And maybe I haven't seen it on Vince's timeline. I haven't seen it on any reputable sources, or maybe my favorite sources. I haven't seen anything with regards to the reported interest or reported negotiations with FC Porto as we try to sign Diogo Costa. So I don't believe it, really. So, yeah, I believe that's the case. All right, this year we've talked about him already. Alex Crook on the Lab's future. He says Everton were keen last summer. I think David Moyes retains the interest in Liam Delap. There could be a bit of a battle for his signature, but I do expect him to go between now and the end of the transfer window. It's simple. Even for his own good, the way we play, he will not get a chance. And the fact that Emera stays, Emera is a more complete footballer than him, quicker than him, better aerially. You could say, it wouldn't make sense for him to stay. If he stays, then he's not thinking right, in my opinion. Genesis did very decent in his debut on that Maresca. All right. Pice is saying that Xabi Alonso monitoring the goalkeeping position. Yep. And that reminds me of a particular report we addressed a week ago or so that says something to the effect of he's not in a hurry to decide we go for a goalkeeper. That he wants time to assess the goalkeepers he has within his disposal before deciding whether we should push to sign any goalkeeper or not. So there's no guarantee we'll sign a new goalkeeper. But I'm going to say the same thing I said on that particular occasion, that him saying that doesn't necessarily mean if a good opportunity to go for a world-class level goalkeeper presents itself, that we're not going to pounce. I think we will. If we get the opportunity to sign a goalkeeper as good as Diogo Costa, I think we will. And that's my opinion. And we have 46 likes. We're edging closer to the end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. Of course, that was what it was, but now it's afternoon. It's actually 2:14 p.m. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation. Let's try and get it to 50 likes at least. We're going news hunting now, but we'll be rounding up soon. By now, Robert Sanchez should be #1 goalkeeper. I think he's capable, in my opinion. I wouldn't mind us continuing with him. After all, we'd have a much stronger defensive line that would protect him very well. All right, from Alex Crook. He's saying Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson are surplus to requirement at Chelsea. At Stamford Bridge, it does make sense. Nicholas Jackson, the reason might have been that he burnt the bridge when he joined, not necessarily because he joined Bayern on loan, but because when we had an injury situation, we wanted him to stay, wanted him not to go out on loan. He refused, and we were hearing from his agent that airplanes don't go backwards. What happens to Mike Pendas, they were saying he's going to be our future #1. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he has huge potential. And as he ages, I think he becomes much better. as tall as he is, the biggest of one of the things I observed that got me concerned is his inability to command his box. And also he's not proactive enough for me, doesn't do much in terms of high claims, which is a very, very critical skill to have as a goalkeeper in the Premier League. Eventually he'd become good at it, but right now he cannot become a number one if he's not good at commanding his box. I think that's a huge no-no for me, and definitely the same for the manager. So Crook is saying, yeah, both players surplus the requirement as for bridge. It makes sense. And this is a video of Morgan Rogers training alone, shooting drills from him, getting ready for the season. I hope he reaps a lot of nets once the season starts. I know he would do well. Excellent player. Xavi wanted him, and we got our men across the line. We've been, you said, bamboozled to believe that, yeah, he didn't want to come to us, that his preference would be to join Arsenal. It turned out he always wanted to come to Chelsea and not Arsenal anyway. Chelsea players have liked how Alonso is not as rigid as other coaches who like to stop the session if they spy a player out of position by a few yards. I don't like this. I think Xavi should actually be doing that. I thought he was going to say something ridiculous. Nothing wrong in a coach pausing the play or maybe stopping the play to correct something. I actually want to see that. So, but yeah, we'll be hearing a lot of nonsense from the ITKs or maybe the so-called insiders, even when they're wrong. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The signing of Henderson to Chelsea is a huge coup. I think we've addressed that one too. So, but keep dropping the likes on the stream. We'll be rounding off soon. We're just news hunting, and that's because we exhausted all the structured items we had lined up. Some thought Chelsea would prefer a Premier League loan from Mudryk to put him back in the English league. However, according to our information, it is indeed in Strasbourg that Chelsea wants to lend the 25-year-old player. I wouldn't mind him staying, and I've explained why. He'd be better off staying at Chelsea as a squad player on the bench. But maybe if he's going to be playing week in, week out at Strasbourg, maybe, yeah, definitely that'd be the best option for him. Xabi Alonso is not Arteta, where he needs 6-7 years to make any team successful. And I'm happy that we're being strategic with the new signings. I think it won't take a lot for them to click and start firing on all cylinders. Well, you don't have to be a Teta or Pep to build a successful squad. That's just my opinion anyway. Better now, coach. But Baz, I love you, bro. I love you. Thank you for all the support. We'll be rounding up soon, people. I'm tired too. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 33 minutes. And but Bas, if you don't mind, can you remind me in a few days so that we can do the giveaway promised to our community members that we will do once we get the 30K subscribers? And we're there. So why not do it soon? Let's see. Any other thing here? A picture of Jordan Henderson speaking to the referee or the coach. And that's younger Yorhata there by his side. And he's spoken that, yeah, that he knows him. And there's a few of the lads that already know, that he already knows from England. Also, I know Yorhata. He knows Yorhata from Ajax as well, who he had a good relationship with him at the time. All right, Jordan Henderson says, yeah, I spoke to Xabi. Very good conversation, very positive. And like I say, it was a big reason why I wanted to come here. And I've got huge admiration for him, both as a player and as a manager. He shocked the world as a manager. All right, pictured here, Mihailo Mudryk, Pedro Neto. Who's the other one? Is that Reggie? All right, more from Jordan Henderson. One was done. I'm tired and hungry at the same time, I have to be honest here. So this reads, Jordan Henderson, for me, football is a team sport. I think we've read that one too. No need reading again. Yeah. Anything else? Jordan Henderson, as soon as I heard about the chance to come here and the opportunity, it was an easy decision. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? That's what happened here. Who's celebrating what? Where is it? Okay, and that's so happy, Jordan Henderson, and that's Morgan Rogers celebrating Jordan Henderson joining Chelsea. A good sign. Jordan Henderson having this opportunity to be at this club. I think we've addressed that one too. Welcome to Chelsea. I need to do my own Jordan Henderson welcome to Chelsea graphics. I haven't done any. Nothing else to address there. I think it's about time we called it a day. And with that, we've come to the natural end of this edition of the Blue Morning Show. I get it. It's afternoon already, but I just have to say one more time. And I want to say thank you to Bobby, our OG panelist here, who was on the panel with me. Jay was also on the panel with me. And to Mabas05, aka MB05, thank you for joining. Must sign Osimhen to Chelsea. Let's see. There are rumors suggesting we're interested in signing, but I don't believe that. Who else was here? Nemaya Fowale was also here. Sean Abiola was here. Michael Falade was here. And my Ghanaian sister in Wendy was also here. And if I missed your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And one more thing here from my bro, Richard Hughes. Let's see what Richard is saying. Let me see what Richard is saying here. Richard said, let me get back to work before I get fired. Please go. All right. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And cheers.
The stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end. Blue till the end, we rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold.